Hello, everybody, and welcome to the final third. And today we're going to be doing our Premier League Match Week 25 reaction to the games that just happened this weekend. Some mental games, some very crazy games, especially that last one in Liverpool City, but we'll discuss that later. And at the end of the video, we'll be doing our predictions for the midweek game, which is Match Week 26. So, yeah. But before we do, Al, can you please reveal the player from the last video?
Yes, it was Kevin Keegan, who is also, famously known for that one meme of himself when he was manager. What was it? I think we deserve it, or something like that. I can't remember the quote, but yeah, so he's pretty famous for that. So anyway, and some other things. So yeah.
Yeah, other things were said. So let's get into the first game, and it was Leeds versus Nottingham Forest. A very important game in the relegation battle. Leeds winning 3-1 to get the advantage over Nottingham Forest and making the relegation battle a lot more exciting. I guess we'll start with Ali, and we'll talk about Leeds, or maybe even Forest. So it depends on who you really want to talk about. I mean, obviously, since your team is in the relegation scrap, they're currently in the relegation zone. Did you think that you're more likely to catch up to Forest or to Leeds? And obviously, as a result, the best result for you.
To be honest, I think it was a good game to see because basically, either way, whether one team won or if it was a draw, it kind of benefited us in any way because obviously Forest lose, so the 6-point gap is still there, so it's not become a 7-point gap. But of course, there is a 9-point gap. Is it a 9-point or 6-point gap between us and Leeds? But if I'm being honest, when I watch Leeds, if I were a Leeds fan, I wouldn't be worried about relegation. The way they're playing at the moment, they're just like really, free-flowing football. Even defensively, they don't look too frail. And the atmosphere that the fans create at Ellen Road, genuinely does carry them through games at times. And I mean, look at this, it's such a big win for them, 3-0. Yeah, especially in this relegation, battle that they're in, to get a 6-point, well, realistically, it's a 6-point gap between us, but I'd say, yeah, they're pretty clear of the relegation zone at this point, and to be honest, I can see them getting, further away from it later in the season, because I know, we still got some good games left and stuff. But yeah, no, I'm quite happy about it, to be honest, because I believe Forest is the team that we can catch, if I'm being honest, and so the fact that they lost, and it lessens the gap to 3-point gap for us between them is very good, and it makes me a bit hopeful for our hopes, relegation hopes and survival hopes. So yeah, great win for Leeds, and to be honest, a very good game from them in terms of just the free flowing football. It's very entertaining to watch. But yeah, no, Daniel Farke's definitely turned around big time with Leeds, so fair play to him.
Yeah, Hassan, what did you think about the game yourself?
Yeah, as Ali said, I think Leeds just dominated the game completely. I think they're winning 3-0 at one point. Obviously, they get a late consolation goal for us, but I don't think that's enough, obviously. I know they're playing away, and Ellen Road is a very difficult place to play. But with Forest, currently, in the relegation scrap, they should be doing better. But you got to give it to Leeds. I think Leeds have been playing very well this season. At the start, they were pretty bad. Obviously, they got humiliated by Arsenal at the start of the season. But I think now they're playing really well. And even against the good teams, now they started to put up a good fight. And I'm not too surprised at the scoreline. I just think Leeds are a very good team right now. And I think for them in terms of relegation battle, I think they could come in with confidence into every game and thinking that they won't get relegated, because from the way they're playing, I think they'll stay in Premier League. And with Forest, I think, it's probably alarm bells ringing for them. But yeah, I think if they just start to lock in and start to play better football, they might get results here and there. But I just think Forest might be one of those teams that will go down.
Well, Forest's next game is Wolves, but we will again discuss that later. So they need to take the opportunity that's in front of them, because they're the most, unfortunately for Wolves, they're the most beatable side in the league this season. So we'll discuss them later as well. But speaking about beatable sides this season, Manchester United beat Tottenham 2-0, and it was a very, very comfortable game for Manchester United, even though, to be fair, Tottenham with 10 men looked decent. But again, Cristiano Romero doing Cristiano Romero things, getting sent off early on in the game and ruining the game for Tottenham Hotspur. What did you think on the Tottenham Hotspur side of things?
Yeah, you know what, man? It's just another really poor performance. And now we were just talking about the relegation zone with the other two teams that we just talked about. And unfortunately for Tottenham, it's looking very worrying, and alarm bells are probably ringing at this point because they are finding themselves in that area of the table.
They're only 6 points off the drop zone.
Exactly. So, and I just can't see where they could possibly win a game at this point. They really are poor, and yeah, look, do I feel really bad for Thomas Frank? Yes, because I just don't know where it's gone truly wrong with him. It could be the fact that he just can't deal with big egos, which at that club at the moment, with the size of the club and a lot of players on big wages, I just think they have a lot of egos, and he might not be able to handle that and manage it, and that's probably where he's failing. Whereas when he was at Brentford, it was a team, that was a bit more united. It was a bit more like players with less egos. It was a bit easier to control them. You get what I'm saying, and get them on board with what he wanted to do in terms of his football. So yeah, and obviously they've had a massive injury crisis, really. All their best players, Kulusevski, Kudus, Maddison, I don't even know who, obviously Romero now gone for 3 games because of a straight ban, which honestly, what a flipping idiot, man. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, this guy, we've said it so many times, he's so rash. He is a good defender, but he is just so rash at times, it costs his team. And he's cost them this time, and it's unfortunate because, like you say, they were playing well before that and had chances and could have actually, maybe got something out of this if it weren't for that red card. But unfortunately, it happened, and unfortunately for them, it's looking very, very worrying. And yeah, if they don't, I don't even know if they'll sack him, but if they don't do something soon, like they could get relegated possibly, and could be maybe the best team we see get relegated in history possibly. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Hassan, we talk about how maybe poor Tottenham were after the red card, but can't take anything away from Manchester United. They probably should have won by a lot more. Vicario had a great game, made some great saves. Generally, what did you think about Man United's performance?
Yeah, I agree. I think Tottenham for the first 30 minutes played really well. As Ali also said, I feel really bad for Thomas Frank because Tottenham started to give United a very good game at the beginning, but obviously after that red card, everything just got thrown out the window for them. But yeah, I think the team played really well after that sending off. Unlike another match where the other team went to 10 men and we just played shit. So yeah, I think the team overall played really well. Mainu starting to get back in form, started to play really well. Starting under Carrick under every game so far. Casemiro as well, we will lose him proper after he leaves United at the end of the season. What performance he had, not just this game, but in previous games as well. He's been really crucial for us. I think it was a solid performance for everyone. Even Dallo, Diogo Dallo has been a player that's been criticised heavily at United, and I thought he had a really good game as well. Some of the tracking back, going back to recover the balls and stuff, yeah, man, he was great that game. Obviously, the assist to Bruno, I think it was as well. So yeah, he was crucial for that. And yeah, Bruno himself, man, I think he deserved to have 2 assists in this game at least. But obviously, I think Šeško at the end just absolutely flopped that chance, just headed it back to the goalie. Didn't even attempt to control the ball and score, which is a bit frustrating. But I'm happy we won the game regardless. But I think Bruno wants to break that record. The players up front need to stop, giving away these easy goals, like these easy chances. But yeah, Bruno himself, he played a massive, crucial role in that win. Yeah, not really much to say other than I'm very proud of the team. And I think Lemons as well. Lemons has been solid for us since the start. Been putting in good saves and making sure that we keep that clean sheet. Because Spurs did have a few chances to either equalise or score a goal, and he prevented that from happening. So yeah, I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, 100%. And you were mentioning Bruno Fernandes. Realistically, I think with the form Man United are in, with the form he's in, and they were starting to build a bit of a point gap between 6th place, because obviously it's very likely the Premier League will get that 5th spot as Champions League football as well. So at the current moment, it looks very likely Man United will achieve Champions League football this season. Fingers crossed, you don't know, knock on wood, whatever you want to do. And Bruno Fernandes, like we say, has been a massive part of that. Top assister in the Premier League. Let's not forget that. He's got 6 goals. He's, I think, 2nd most goal involvements, I think, in the Premier League this season, only behind Erling Haaland.
I've got a question for you.
Other than Erling Haaland, if you're talking about
I've got a question for you boys regarding Bruno Fernandes. Recently, I've been seeing a lot of comparisons with him and Özil. Who do you think is better? Just want to get your opinion. Obviously, you guys are Man United fans. You would have seen him a bit more. So just yeah, what do you think on that? Because I'm seeing a lot of comparisons, and people are trying to say Özil is better. Do you agree?
Depends. It really depends. As a footballer, I really love the way Özil plays. I think even as a United fan, you can appreciate a good footballer. I remember he created that. I've talked about this goal so many times. When Arsenal played Leicester, I think in 2018, 2019. I think it was that season. And he dictated that goal from his goal and literally controlled it all the way and orchestrated the goal. Does that make sense? And Ozil is a fantastic player, but he didn't achieve much personally at Arsenal. Does that make sense? I knew he was a great player. He
Individually,
well. Individually, do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, he maybe won an FA Cup here and there. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Bruno Fernandes hasn't won many trophies himself, right? But if you're to look at Man United, Bruno Fernandes, and Arsenal, Özil, I'm taking Man United, Bruno Fernandes every single day of the week.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think Ozil's a class player, man. But I think Bruno, without Bruno, United would not be the team it is right now. And without him, potentially last season, would have been relegated. So yeah, I'm thankful that we got Bruno at the right time, because another big club could have easily snapped him up and he might have won a Ballon d'Or or something like that. You know what I mean? I feel like he's a player where he kind of ruined his own career by coming to United, but he's still stuck with United regardless of that, because he loves the club, and that's a player that I really respect. But yeah, I mean, disrespect that Bruno gets is insane. Like, he's getting compared to the likes of Palmer and Odegaard. Like, I have a mate who's a Chelsea fan, and he will like take it to the grave that Palmer's better than Bruno. And it's just ridiculous, like just gassing about Palmer's hat-trick consisting of 2 pens. Like, you'll never see me gas about Bruno hat-trick consisting of 2 pens, but some of these Chelsea fans are a bit ridiculous when it comes to that. But yeah, I think Bruno's heavily disrespected, and once he leaves the Premier League, I think people will truly appreciate how good he was for United.
100%. And I was also mentioning the fact that he probably is the player of the season in the Premier League, and if he keeps it up, again, 13 games to go, you never know what can happen. He could get another injury, but Bruno Fernandes rarely gets injured, and even when he does, he comes back quicker than ever expected. He's been instrumental, and we were discussing the fact that obviously Sesko bottled that opportunity at the end, and let's be fair, Sesko should be doing a lot better in that situation, but again, we won the game. I still think Bruno Fernandes has got a good 6 assists in him, but again, you never know. But I'm saying that because how good we are at set pieces, like literally only Arsenal are better than us. We're scoring a lot from corners. Obviously, we scored another set piece goal against Tottenham as well. Bit more unorthodox from the corner, but it was still very good. I think Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, it was a great corner. But what I will say
one thing I want to say as well.
Yeah.
I want to say as well, United Strand might be getting his haircut against West Ham. It depends.
Let's see. Let's fingers crossed, because again, this is the closest we've ever been, and knowing us, we'll get a draw and we'll just bottle it.
Yeah, come on. We'll talk about that. We'll get there when we get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
exactly. But let's move on to the next game. Sorry about waffling about Man United a lot. But it is the team at the top of the table, Arsenal. They have beaten Sunderland 3-0. Victor Gyökeres, is he starting to show his weight in goals near the end of the season when they need it?
Possibly, yeah. I'm pretty sure is how many I think he scored in the last game as well.
He did.
So he's starting to pick up some form. Obviously, the most important thing for like a striker, and whether like you say, is he gonna make his way in goals or gold, whatever you want to say, is whether he keeps it up. So that's the most important thing. It's good and all if he's scoring now, but like, of course, can he carry it on? Does he have the talent to do so? Yeah. Look, the biggest problem, and we've said it since like day one of the season, right? He wasn't getting given the chances by his teammates. The way Arsenal play never really, benefited Victor Gyökeres. But however, when you give him chances, he is a clinical striker. Now, yes, technically one of them was a tap-in. Doesn't matter. The attacking IQ you need to have to make sure you're in that position, and stuff like that is also important. It's simple just to say it's a tap-in, but sometimes you have to be in the right place at the right time, which also takes, some intelligence to be there. Again, it's a simple goal, but even the first one, the fact that he slipped and still managed to get so much power on the shot, it is crazy. I saw the goal and I was thinking like, like how he, that finish he gets even when slipping just shows like how good of a finisher he is. But yeah, he's gonna probably be a really important player for Arsenal coming to the end of this season to see whether they win the league or not. Because we've said a big problem they've had in the last few seasons when they have bottled the league was not having a good enough striker, and it looks like they might do now. So yeah, he might be instrumental to that towards the end. I mean, he's got 8 goals so far this season. Let's see if he can keep it up, and yeah, maybe he might live up to his price tag. So yeah.
I mean, like we've been discussing the fact that Arsenal need players to perform near the end of the season. Their new signings are the ones that are scoring. Zubimendi also scored in the last game.
His goal.
Do we think that? Crazy. Yeah. I don't know what you think about sort of the signings they've made this season. I mean, obviously, if they win the league this season, that's probably been their best set of signings in recent history, obviously.
I think it's been hit and miss for them, to be honest. Zubendi, I think he's been the best signing so far. But I think the rest of them haven't pulled their weight or exactly to match the expectations as we expected. Like, with Gyökeres, he came in with like how many goals from last season, like 40 or 50 goals. God knows how many goals he scored. But as Ali's been saying, I don't think that's on him really. I think it's how Arsenal plays. They really feed the striker enough chances to score goals. But you see in the game, the goals that he scored, yes, they weren't the easiest chances, but they're chances that essentially are like falling onto him, and it's able for him to score because, if you see the previous games, he was getting none of those chances. He wasn't getting close to goal or having a chance to shoot a goal. However, now he's getting those chances. I can see him actually scoring goals. And I've said this about Gyökeres. He's a class player, but yeah, I just think Arsenal don't. It can like how United had the same problem as well. United just rely on the wingers too much or the midfielders to score. But I think with Arsenal now, they're starting to make use of Gyökeres, and he's starting to get his flowers, which I do like to see, because a lot of the time strikers do get blamed for not scoring goals. But you do have to see how the team plays collectively in order to make a judgment on that. But I want to talk about Sunderland as well. I do think Sunderland, they were just heavily dominated in midfield. When you're coming up against Zubimendi and Rice, I mean, most teams in the league will struggle to, be a midfield like that. But I did think they have an injury late on. Don't remember who it was exactly midfield. But obviously that changed the game for them, and that's what Arsenal scored a late goal at the end. But yeah, fair play to Sunderland for trying, but I think Arsenal at home have just been a really good team. So there's no really surprises. Because I think I predicted it 3-0 as well, so I'm not entirely surprised.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, 100% agreed. Arsenal at home, we talked about how they need to start sort of winning games more dominantly, and how they sort of tripped over the line a couple times this season, especially the win against Wolves at home. That was a very sticky win, but again, they are getting the results. They're getting the performances. Again, you might say in some of the big games they're not performing enough, but again, realistically, the most important games is performing in the smaller ones, and then if you're able to get decent results from the big games, it's enough. So let's see from now to the end of the season. Again, we mustn't forget they have to play Man City at the Etihad, and that will be a massive game in the title race. But let's discuss the next game. The next game is Bournemouth versus Villa. Before we sort of go into either side, I just wanted to mention a point I made two videos ago, and I was talking about how Villa need to be careful. They didn't play well in this game, and they got a draw. Again, that's not a bad result. Bournemouth are on very good form themselves. They haven't lost in the last 5, but I said Man United and Chelsea are starting to creep up. Now, I'm not saying they'll fall out of the top 5, because again, top 5 is Champions League football, but they need to be careful. And that hasn't changed, and they are still dropping points. So let's see. With the form Man United and Chelsea are on, they don't look like they're going to stop anytime soon. So, that's just my point. Let's discuss Bournemouth and how well they played. And obviously their new signing, Ryan, has come in and made a massive impact, getting a great result against Villa. What do we think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great goal for him. However, Lucas Digne is playing flipping musical statues for some reason. I don't know what this guy's doing. Bro's just standing still for the goal. Just lets him go straight past him, very, very nice of him to give this guy, his first goal in the Premier League, try welcome into the league.
That's nice little
very,
gift
very
for
nice
Valentine's.
gesture from Lucas Digne, but honestly, what the hell was that defending? Like, it's so poor. and it's not even just the defending. It's the effort that he didn't just put in. You know what I mean? He put no effort. He just let him walk past. Like once he was gone past him, he didn't bother to like run back and like do something. He just left him. It's extremely poor, and yeah, it's very poor. And I mean, it's just cost them the extra 2 points. And like Carl says, that would have been so important for them considering the position they're in now with the other teams chasing them. So yeah, it's not ideal at all. I mean, it's a good finish to be fair from Ryan, but and like obviously you've got to give him credit because you know he can only face what he's up against. But no, it's really poor from Lucas Digne. But yeah, like Carl says, I mean, Bournemouth starting to pick up form again, especially considering that they lost to Mania, so it's very good for them. But yeah, no, I think it's not great from Villa per se, or well, just Digne in general, if I'm being honest. But also Villa have not scored as many goals as they used to, so that's also not ideal. So yeah, but no, fair play to Bournemouth. It's a good goal. And yeah, good performance to be fair. Yeah.
Yeah. Hassan, discussing Villa, I feel like there is a bit of an over-reliance on two players. Morgan Rogers, who scored again for Villa. We know how important he is for them and how good he is. But also Mr. Emi Martinez, who had to make 7 saves in this game. Which, you know, there is an over-reliance. He's had a lot of games this season where he's had to make 5+ saves, which is, you know, quite rare for a goalkeeper in a season unless you're in the relegation scrap, where Villa are 3rd place currently in the league, which shows how good he's been for them. So, yeah, what do we think about those two?
Yeah, I think without Martinez between the sticks, I think Villa would lose this game very easily. I think, especially against Evan Nilsson, he missed a couple of chances where Martinez had to do a great stop. So, yeah, I think, Martinez, without him in the team, Villa would be screwed completely. And they should be grateful that they took 1 point from this game. I think Bournemouth had more clinical players up front. I think they'll definitely win this game, like, without a doubt. I don't think Villa deserved anything out of this game at all. And I'm surprised Sancho even got an assist there. I mean, I know Rogers scored, but I don't know if Sancho got an assist for that. So that's pretty interesting. He's like actually helping out the team. I thought he'd just come in as like a, just a little bit of squad depth. But, it's good for him, I guess, that he's helping out the team. But yeah, just Villa look off it, man. Like, I think at home they've been pretty good, but away from home they've been quite dreadful, to be honest. So yeah, I think they need to step up, and that just shows defensively they're very fragile. Letting a goalkeeper concede that many saves is not good. So I think that's definitely an issue when it comes to the defense. And the sooner they resolve it, the better for them. Because as you've said, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool are creeping up to them. They were very strong in the top 4 race, and even the title race at one point. But now they're starting to slow down a little bit. Losing form. So they can easily get to 5th or 6th place if they're not careful. So yeah, I feel like they need to be careful in this case.
100% agree. And hopefully this time Villa fans won't take any offence of it. It's not my fault your team isn't playing well at the moment. It's just the reality of the matter, and you have teams chasing you down. That's how the Premier League works. If you guys don't perform, then unfortunately you don't get what you deserve. Even if you think it's top 4, sometimes that's how life is. Anyway, let's get back to the relegation scrap. And 2 teams in the relegation zone had a battle. And West Ham, the better claret and blue side, they might say, came out on top. 2-0 away from home. Great result. What do we think?
Yeah, I mean, you summed it up perfectly, really. It's great. First of all, first clean sheet since I don't even remember. Honestly, I didn't even know there's such thing as a clean sheet. What is that? What is it? First time, thank God. Fair play, because when I saw Hermansen in the starting lineup, I was very, very confused. I didn't want to question it too much, because I was like, we've been playing well. I mean, obviously, it's no offense to Burnley. It is Burnley, right? So, no offense to them. But I was like, is this the right decision right now? You know what I mean? But fair play. I mean, he made some good saves. We got a clean sheet. I feel so bad for Areola, because the fact that he hasn't had a clean sheet, and then Hermansen comes in and gets one in his first appearance in God knows how long. You'd think Hermansen's better than him, but I swear to you guys, he is not. But anyway, he's a good keeper and he done good performance, so fair play to him. Disasi, look, I didn't get to watch the game, unfortunately, because I was in work. But yeah, clearly we got a clean sheet, so Disasi must have played well. Mavropanos looked like he played well. Even Wan-Bissaka as well. And then let's talk about the goals. Somerville, again, with another goal. I think it's 5 from 5. yeah, crazy form this guy's on, and I'm very happy because I've been, given a lot of praise, and I've really stuck with this guy because I really, really do like him, and I've said how good this guy is, and all he needed was that one goal just to propel himself, and when he got that first goal, look at him now, 5 goals and 5, and he's just showing why he's such a good player, and yeah, man, he's not just a good, finisher, he's so entertaining to watch. He's so good to watch. It's very enjoyable to watch him. And then Tati Castellanos with the header, very good. I'm very happy for him because, the amount of effort he puts in, he deserves a goal. And he deserved that goal and he really took it well. And Diouf with the...
That's from Alex Diouf, though.
That's what I was about to say. Diouf with that assist. It's typical Diouf, man. What an assist. I mean, we've got a bloody AFCON winner in our team. So what do you expect? Well, what a player, bro. I'm very happy for him. And yeah.
Probably the best cross in the league. And it's not even crazy to say that.
I think I saw a stat. He's had the most assists for a defender this season. Which is funny because 3 of them came from the start of the season in October. So it's just first one since then. But still, fair play. What a stat to have. And I'm not surprised because those crosses are mental.
Yeah,
100%. Sorry, I was yawning there. Yeah, Hassan. Obviously, there's not really much you can discuss about Burnley. They gave it a good go. If anything, they gave West Ham quite a good game.
They did.
Maybe they could have got a bit more out of it, but they are currently sort of drifting into the same place as Wolves, where it's sort of a place of no return. West Ham are currently 8 points clear of them, and they're still in the relegation zone. But the difference is West Ham are in form, and Burnley are not. Do we think that it's no hope for Burnley?
I wouldn't say it's no hope because in this season you don't know what's going to happen, but I think it's looking pretty dark for them. Obviously West Ham is a much better side, so I'm not entirely surprised why West Ham beat them 2-0 and possibly could have made the 3-0. But it's unfortunate, but this is how teams are in the teams that get promoted. They just come to the Premier League, they get dominated, and just go back down to the Championship. So it's a bit unfortunate how that's how life works, but that's how it is in the Premier League. I don't know what they need to do to obviously improve, but it's past the January transfer window. I mean, they're not really a big club in that sense to have money to spend on players, so they just got to develop what they've got and hopefully try and get results. But I want to talk a little bit about one West Ham player, and that's Mateus Fernandes. I know Ali's been rambling on about him for a long time, but I do see why he's been talking about him often because he's a very good player. And I think also Carlos wants to probably talk about the fact that a big club's interested in signing him. So I'll let Carlos talk about that since he might know a bit more than me.
Yeah, obviously there have been links of Mateus Fernandes leaving West Ham, unfortunately. Hal doesn't want to hear that.
As long as you get good money.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like with the clubs that are interested, you definitely can. Real Madrid are looking to buy a midfielder, and they were interested in January. But I'm guessing he stayed a little bit loyal to West Ham and told them no to Real Madrid, which is kind of mental.
Yeah, those rumors, I'm not sure if they were actually true. I mean, I hear
they might not be true, but apparently
they might have been
not
false.
be true.
However, let's be honest, with the way he's playing, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going. So, yeah.
My point is, I know there is a lot of clubs that are interested in midfielders this summer. None more so than Manchester United. I'm sure Manchester City are looking for a midfielder as well. There are a lot of clubs that are interested in midfielders this summer. Doesn't necessarily have to be Premier League clubs, like we say. Maybe Barcelona, PSG, and Real Madrid. That's the type of player I think Mateus Fernandes is, and that's the type of level I believe he can reach. Again, I'm not sure actually what his age is. Is he 22?
He's 21.
21, even younger than I thought. So, very, very young. So, yeah. He can reach the very top of the game. I watched one of the games where he played against Sunderland, and you guys won 3-1. He was immense. That goal he scored, which obviously Al thought it was one of the goals of the season.
Contender. I just wanted to specify that because I got a lot of comments saying it's not going to go of the season. I said contender. Okay, I never said it was the goal.
That's why I said one of the goals of the season. His pass was the reason it even got to the place where he had to shoot. Does that make sense? He was in the build up of the goal. Since he got moved a bit deeper, he's been able to dictate the game a bit better. So he shows that he's a great deep line playmaker, and I feel like teams need that right now. So I feel like it'll be very hard for West Ham to keep hold of both Somerville and Mateus Fernandes. So we'll have to see what happens in the summer. Anyway, let's go on to the next game, and it is Fulham versus Everton. and that finished 2-1 to Everton, with Shrewsbury Hall being the star man and helping Everton win the game. A lot of own goals in this game, two actually. Mikalenko for Fulham and Leno for Everton. And obviously Shrewsbury Hall scored that goal as well. So it got a bit confusing. We didn't know who's playing for who. Do you know what I mean? It looked like maybe the lineups were switched the wrong way around. But yeah, very good away win for Everton.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, with the goal that Bernd Leno gave away, I think he's just too busy trying to, tussle with the defender or the person that was, on him. Unfortunately, sorry. Unfortunately, goalkeepers just aren't afforded like the, what you say, like they're not going to get the help from the VAR or the referee, unfortunately, anymore. So in that situation, you just got to try your best and tussle your way, but like not fight with the defender, more like try to get around them, something like that. Try to not get yourself in a situation like that. Unfortunately, he's too busy with the defender, hasn't had time to really set himself for the ball coming in, and yeah, so that's why the goal's gone in. The Mikalenko one's just really unlucky, if I'm being honest. It's just bounced off him after Pickford's made the save, so that's not. It's kind of unfortunate, really. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm surprised Everton actually got the win, to be honest, because I really thought Fulham, they're both good sides, to be fair, and at the moment I'd probably say they are equal, but, Fulham were at home, so I just thought they might edge it, but fair play, Everton got the win, so it's a good win for them, massive win, and respect, because David Moyes obviously managing them, and obviously he used to manage us, and I have a lot of respect for that man, so good for him, very happy for him.
You know what? I just wanted to mention one thing. These two teams are both actually fighting out for Europe this season. They are Everton are currently 8th, Fulham are currently 10th. Two teams that you could probably say they had not the best start to the season / midway point, but now are starting to pick up a bit of form and trying to get into the European spots. Everton being unbeaten in the last 5. What do we think? Do you think that they have a good shout for European spots?
I think it'll be quite difficult, but when you look at the table, Everton's only 2 points behind Liverpool, which is crazy to say, seeing as they were champions last season. Look, I think Everton do have a chance, but I think their main problem this season has been scoring goals. Because when you look how many goals they've scored this season, it's only 28. And they've also conceded 20, which is kind of ironic as well. But I think Everton, solves their goal scoring problems, they could definitely get up there. But I think the main issue is like the lack of creativity. I think Grealish is injured still for them. So that's not great. And I think also the strikers as well. I don't think the strikers are good enough. Barry and Beto, not really the best two strikers to have in your team, but I do think they can definitely play a role in helping them to get in European football. But Fulham as well, I think Fulham got a good chance, but I don't know, they're a bit on and off Fulham. I don't think they're consistent enough. But I think Everton's defence is what will help them, get European football if they do, try hard to get that. But yeah, in terms of the game itself, I don't really watch the game that much to, make a fair, comment or judgment. But, fair play to Everton, they've been a good team recently. So yeah, all props to them.
Yeah, fair play to Everton. And, like you say, I didn't actually realise it. They are only 2 points behind Liverpool. So maybe they're in the Champions League race. Who knows? Anyway, let's go on to a team who actually is in the Champions League spot currently, and that is Chelsea. They beat Wolves, which is very, very expected, 3-1. Cole Palmer got a hat-trick. Hassan already discussed this earlier, and the fact that he gets compared to Bruno Fernandes. Let's not discuss that. Let's discuss the player himself and not compare him to anybody else. What do we think of Cole Palmer as a player, and how good he can, and can he reach that level he reached a couple seasons ago for Chelsea?
Of course he can, but he has suffered a couple of injuries since then that has really diminished his ability, and it's quite unfortunate. I think he's currently even still suffering with this like a groin or pelvic injury that's like...
Yeah, he said he's getting back to his best, so yeah. He's, like you say, he's still recovering.
So he's still recovering from that, and I'm sure once he's if he gets fully fit, we'll be seeing, that same Cole Palmer that we saw when he first went to Chelsea. And look, man, the roof's so high for the guy. The ceiling's so high for him. He is such a good player. And he's a very entertaining player. He can score any kind of goal, Cole Palmer, and he's going to be very vital for Chelsea if they are to get Champions League. And I know we're talking about Cole Palmer here, but I do just want to give a bit of praise to the manager, because this manager came in given absolutely zero hope by the fans and people around, the club and just in the league in general. No one really gave this guy hope. And bro, it was kind of sad because he's a very nice man. I feel like he was just put into this job because obviously we all know why he got the job. Let's be honest, because of the whole Blue Coat thing, and obviously they own Strasbourg and he was at Strasbourg, right? So we don't need to get into that. But he's come in, he's done a really good job so far. He's a very likable man, and I think he just deserves a bit more credit and a bit more praise for what he's done. And look, whether he goes on to win anything with Chelsea and stuff like that, I don't know. But he's come in and done a job that he's been asked to do, and fair play to him. And it seems like the players have really tucked to him, so it's nice to see. And long may it continue for him, because he seems like a nice guy.
100%. He, like you say, he's a nice man. And to be fair, he's kind of showing he's not just a nice man, and he's actually a pretty decent coach, and getting quite a good amount out of the Chelsea players, which is good to see. I mean, do we discuss Wolves? Is it another discussion point? You kind of feel bad for them at this point. Hassan, do you have anything you want to mention?
So you could talk about one player in particular, Mateus Mane. I think he's a really good player. I think he had one good chance at goal. I think at the post, if I'm not mistaken. So, I think he's a great player, and I think he'll definitely be a player that a lot of big clubs are looking at. Seeing as he's still young, he's still 18. So obviously big clubs want to come develop a talent like that and make the most out of him. And I don't think he will stay at a club like Wolves, seeing as how much potential he's got. Look, I do think Wolves are a bit unfortunate. I think they had to take a play off because he was injured. I think it's Hwang Chan. So quite unfortunate for them in that regard, because I think he's one of their best players. But just looking like a bleak season, from start to end for Wolves, and I don't think it'll look better for them.
Yeah, agreed. They are currently rock bottom of the Premier League. Unfortunately, they officially can't win the Premier League anymore. It's unfortunate. They're so close. You know what I mean? It's so frustrating.
I really had so much hope for them, man.
I lost that bet.
I was going to place a bet, man. I was going to place a bet,
unfortunately. They can't win the league anymore.
Maybe next time, mate.
Very sad to see. Maybe next season. Who knows? They might win it in the Championship. Who knows? Anyway, let's go on to Newcastle versus Brentford. Brentford with a massive win away from home to get a 3-2 win with an Otara late winner. Let's talk about Brentford. How good have they been this season? They are level on points with Liverpool, and they are a team that realistically is challenging for Champions League football because they are only 4 points behind 5th place.
Yeah, man, I think it really has to start with the fact that me and Carlos did predict them to get relegated. So, it's probably bad count. They just want to show us how wrong we really were. And fair play to them, because they're actually looking at, European football next season. And it looks like a pretty... certain that they're going to get at this rate, the way they're playing and just the results that they're getting, especially to be fair, towards the start of the season or midway, we were saying they're really relying on home results at this point, and they're not looking great away. But they've even changed it now. Even away from home, they're starting to get good results, and this is another one, because they've scored 3 goals. They've come back to win the game in the... When did they win? What was the score? In the 85th minute, in the depth of the game, when, obviously Newcastle come back. It's in St. James's Park. It's not an easy place to go, but fair play to Brentford, They've stuck to it. Ouattara, who we've spoke about a lot, is a very good player, important player for them. And I think Brentford, I've said it before, but they are a perfect club in terms of the way it's run. They're a perfect model, and a perfect model for other clubs to follow. The way they run, the recruitment to everything is perfect. The way they in the summer they lost many big players and the manager, who's massive as well for them. They lost Wissa, and they lost Norgard, and they lost the manager. Yet they've recruited with in-house.
Not Keller, sorry. What's his name? Flecken?
Yeah. But in-house, they've brought in the manager from the set-piece coach, Keith Andrews, and he's done an absolutely insane job. Fair play to him. And even some of the players they've come... I'll be honest, I was questioning that Jordan Henderson signing, But you know what? Fair play. I have to hold on my hands. He's been a great signing for them, and he's shown his experience and how important it is. So you just got to, just say fair play. That's all you can say. And even Damsgaard's starting to show, signs of being a really good player. Even though that guy looks way older than he actually is. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, Damsgaard was actually. I don't know if you remember the Euros in 2021. It was 2020. He was actually a very good player for Denmark, but obviously he never really hit the heights after that. But now he's doing quite well for Brentford. But let's discuss the Newcastle side of things. After we do discuss, I've got a little transfer rumor to do with a Newcastle player. But anyway, Hassan, what do we think of Newcastle and what can they do to... I mean, they're currently 12th in the league. They can still... they're 10 points off Champions League football. That's quite a big gap to try and close, especially with the consistency of the Champions League teams at the moment, or the teams in the Champions League places. What do we think is a realistic achievement for Newcastle this season?
Honestly, if they get 5th place, I think that'd be a good achievement for them. Because when you look at the teams above them, there's a lot of teams above them, to be fair. It's going to be very difficult for them to even get a chance. To be fair, Sunderland, I mean, I think there's a very, low chance of them to get Champions League football now. Very difficult when the other teams above them are playing really well. And if they can't win against, teams like Brentford, teams that are, around mid-table, then I don't think they have a chance of getting Champions League. Because when you want to get to the Champions League spots, you got to beat big teams like Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea. You got to beat these teams once in a while to be able to get to the Champions League spot, and they haven't done that, so far. So I don't think it's looking good for them in terms of that. So as I said, anywhere near 5th or 6th would be a good, finishing rank for them. But in terms of the game itself, I don't know what was wrong for Newcastle. I think defensively they weren't great. Obviously they gave away a penalty as well, which obviously is on the defense. But I think Trippier is probably the player to blame because I think he was just completely off it. Obviously he's starting to show his age. He's not a young player anymore. So I think he was just getting overrun by on the left hand side by the Brentford players. So I do think Newcastle need to invest more in the fullbacks. Even Hall. I think Hall's a good player, but I think defensively he's not great. So I think they need to have more defensive players who are able to obviously attack and obviously defend. But I don't know what else to say. But I do think Bruno Guimaraes played a good game, but I think the rest of the players just didn't really look like it. They didn't look like the Newcastle that we were expecting at home. But fair play to Brentford, man. They came away from home and got a result, because we see Brentford as a team that only does well at home, but they've proven us wrong. So fair play to them.
Yeah, 100%. There was a Newcastle player I told you guys I was going to mention, and I will mention him now. Sandro Tonali. He's a great player for Newcastle, very important midfielder, but there has been some news that has come in from Mike McGrath. I believe he works for The Telegraph, and he's been very, very good when it comes to transfer news. He has said that Sandro Tonali is very high on Manchester United's shortlist for their midfield rebuild. The Newcastle midfielder is among others, but he is very high on the list for Manchester United. Now, I didn't want to go back to talking about Manchester United because we already talked about them quite a bit. But Hassan mentioned the fact that Casemiro is leaving this summer. And obviously we all know that. That's official. That's confirmed. Do we think the signing of Sandro Tonali is a good replacement for Casemiro?
Should I answer that, or
do
you want to answer that?
It's probably better from you.
I don't know, to be honest. I think Tonali is a good player, but I don't think I've seen his best yet. Because it's like related to that point of Eddie Howe. I don't think Eddie Howe's getting the best out of his players. And I think that's the case for Tonali. I think Tonali can be a great player for Man United, but I'd say, I don't know, he'd be too expensive, I think. I don't think he'll be worth the price. I don't know what his current estimation is in value, but I think he'll be around 80 to something million. Seeing as he's a good player with plays for a good team like Newcastle, I don't think they'll let him go for cheap. So I don't know, to be honest. It all depends on the price. If he's if he's willing to go for a good price, then I don't mind. But I'd go for other options if that's not the case. So I do think he's a good player regardless.
I don't know. I mean, again, we don't want to spend too much time on this transfer. And again, this is more a reaction to a game video. What do you think of Sandro Tonali, and do you think he can be a sort of catalyst maybe in Manchester United's midfield?
Me? Oh shit. Sorry. No. I think he's a good. I think he's a good player. A very good player, and I think he, like Hassan said, I don't think Eddie Howe and him, he's getting the best out of himself in this team right now at Newcastle. But I think, sometimes the right environment is perfect for players to develop. And I think Man United, the way they are, I mean, look, the thing is with Man United, it's really hard to tell because if Carrick doesn't stay, we have to wait and see who the next manager is, how he plays, what kind of players he likes. So it's a very hard question to answer because I feel like, realistically, yes, Sandro Tonali is a great player, but again, you kind of have to wait and see who Man United have as manager next season to really determine who they should get. But I think Sandro Tonali would be good no matter who comes in, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, and I don't know how old he is, but I don't think he's that old, to be fair to him.
I think he's approaching 26.
Oh, that's pretty young, if I'm being honest. Yeah, that's not bad. That would be a great signing, but yeah, especially it depends on the price. I think Hassan is right. If it's like anything more than 80, then I would probably stay away from that.
I saw it would be probably between the 80 and 100 million mark.
Yeah, I'd probably stay away from that if it's anything more than 80, if I'm being honest.
But they are on the list. He is on the list, so we'll have to wait and see who Man United go for. They've got a lot of players on that list, probably including Mateus Fernandes.
No, leave him alone, please.
We'll have to wait and see who it's going to be. Why? But let's move on to another team that include a player that's on Man United's shortlist. Brighton and Crystal Palace. Palace get a massive win in... I'm not sure what the derby's actually called, but I know it's a very, very big game for both teams. Palace haven't won in a while, get their first win and, push away from the relegation scrap. So, like we said, they needed to just get away from it a little bit and secure a bit of safety and then maybe put all eggs in one basket for the Conference League.
Yeah. I just want to start off by saying, respectfully, this might be one of the most boring derbies ever. Or whatever. It is rivalism. Doesn't really feel like a rival, but fair play, I guess. But no, it's a massive win for Crystal Palace, to be fair, because like Carl said, they were kind of free-falling recently, and this win's very massive in terms of them staying away from relegation. They are now, how many points clear? They got 32 points, so they're about, let me do the maths, about 9 points clear, right? So yeah, it seems like they'll be alright. And like Carl says, if they can just put all eggs in one basket for the Conference League, similarly to what West Ham did in the season they won it, we finished 15th and then we won the Conference League. I think if they can do something similar, it'd be massive for them.
As well.
So yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I think it'd be massive for them. Obviously, trophy, the money they can get from it, attracting players because they'll have Europa League. I think it'd be a good a good chance to let them rebuild in the summer. Obviously you have to wait and see who they get as manager because Glazer's obviously not going to stay. I want to just give credit to Sarr because I've been giving that guy so much credit this season, and I'm going to give it again because he is a hell of a player, and Palace have a hell of a player, and I think he'll be the next one to go. Unfortunately for Palace, I'd be very surprised if he stays. Strand Larson looked alright. Wasn't too bad, I guess. Had a couple chances. Could he have put some of them away? Maybe, but again, he didn't look too bad. He's getting into positions, which is good. But yeah, no, it's kind of a boring game though, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, I also just want to mention one thing because I know Klaus was mentioning midfielders in this game. I did see Baliba, and I'm not gonna lie, it didn't look too good for my liking personally. I didn't think he looked good in this game.
I mean, again, it wasn't just Baliba I was talking about Adam Wharton too.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
Both players are linked with Manchester United. Again, like you say, I mean, we're interested in both. But let's discuss Brighton as a whole and as a team. What's going wrong for them? They're just not consistent at all. And they've got so many draws this season and more losses than wins, Yeah.
I think they're lacking in creativity, to be honest. Because you can see they have the fair bit of possession, but they don't really do much of it. You know what I mean? And obviously they're missing out on Danny Welbeck. I think he was really good when he was playing for them, but now he's injured now, so they've got a big loss in that player. He's got experience up front and is able to score goals. But yeah, I don't know what it is, to be honest. Even Matoma's fallen off as well. It's like the whole team is taking a free fall at this point. And as Ali mentioned with like Belieber as well, Belieber's been off it this whole season. I thought as soon as that Man United game happened for Brighton, Belieber's been not the same player again. I don't know what's up with him. Even in AFCON, I don't think he was great. So yeah, I mean, it's probably good for us if you want to get him, because now he'd be really cheap.
I thought he was one of the best midfielders in AFCON.
I think he wasn't great. He wasn't a standout, player. I wouldn't say so.
Hey.
I would say Senegal's midfield is probably better than
he was one of the
Cameroon's
better.
No, bro, we
midfielders.
ain't an AFCON channel, please, guys. So can we move on from that?
That
We're
is
discussing
true.
the player. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think Belieber. I mean, it is a Premier League channel, to be fair. So I'll say the Premier League, he's not been great.
Exactly.
No, I agree.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Which is not ideal for him, because that's the club he plays for, and that's who should be representing the most. But yeah, Brent as a whole, I think they're relying on the goalkeeper too much, and because he can't save them from that one goal, they lose. So yeah, it's just down to the outfield players to actually change the game and get them a result, and they clearly didn't. So yeah, it is what it is. It's part of football. But yeah, fair play to Crystal Palace for winning away.
100%. There's a couple of players you could probably discuss. I mean, Matoma, he's not doing a lot for Brighton nowadays. He was really, really good in his first couple of seasons for Brighton, and he seems like he's kind of fallen off. He's not really getting involved in the game as much. Like you say, another high-profile player is Belieber. But other than that, the team is quite bare-boned. Like, I mean, there's Pascal Grobe. They had to buy him back. Do you know what I mean? And they couldn't really move on from him. It's a very strange situation at Brighton. We talked about them and sort of bringing in talent and selling it for very big prices and sort of doing well, finishing mid-table every season. But this season it just hasn't been it really. I mean, they're not far off mid-table. If they win a couple games in a row, they'll be back amongst it. But this is not the Brighton that we're used to. We're used to seeing a much better side.
Also, my bad. Welbeck did come on. I think he came as a substitute.
He did come on as a substitute.
Yeah, but he's come back from injury, so he's still not up to par.
Fully fit, yeah.
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 Well, let's move on to the final game of the weekend. One of the most strange games this season, with one of the most strange incidents at the end of the game. Liverpool lose 2-1 to Manchester City at home. Probably a very, very good result for Man United, if I'm honest. They push closer to Arsenal, so we don't have to hear their fans, hopefully, win the league. And do the flipping Gyökeres and all that. And Liverpool stay a bit further behind us. What can you really say about the game? We'll discuss one point. Mr. Dominic Szoboszlai was involved a lot in the game.
This poor
scored a beautiful free kick, but then got a red card in the last minute.
Honestly, I just don't know how the flip it works with the rulings in terms of that whole situation at the end. Apparently, the referee saying, because, they gave advantage, but then because during the advantage there was a foul, that's why there was a red card and this and that. And I'm just like, bro, what is going on? I don't know.
Just give the goal at this point, man.
Literally, just give the goal, man. What's the
I
point?
think Liverpool would have just taken that goal.
Literally, the game.
Yeah, they were taking the goal over the red card at this point. It's so strange.
He's giving probably their best player a red card. It's like, come on, man. What's the point, bro? Just give the goal. Everyone's happy.
Double jeopardy.
I won't say everyone's happy, but it's probably happier than what happened at the end. So yeah, it's all just mental. I mean, Haaland got a goal and assist. At least he's back to it, I guess. I know one was a pen, but still. And
it's a good flick on for the assist though.
Yeah, it was very, very good, to be fair to him. And but to be fair, Dominic Szoboszlai probably scoring a goal of a season contender. I'm not saying goal of the season, but it was
arguably with his first free kick against Arsenal.
Yeah, bro. This is my point. That free kick though against City, bro, posting in but you don't get better than that. The way I
think it was the same against Arsenal. I think it was posting in against Arsenal as well.
Was, bro, this guy really is, carrying Liverpool as much as he physically can, and it's just I don't even know. Liverpool, I think they're really going to be regretting the fact that they didn't get Guehi. Now I know Guehi wasn't necessarily the best player in this game and could have potentially got sent off against the foul on Salah. But, that's a bit debatable. It's up to you what you think. But I'm not too sure. I guess people are saying it could be a goal-scoring opportunity. I'm not look, I don't know. But but they're clearly missing defenders because that was the biggest problem. But yeah, no, it's a massive win for City. And to be honest, I am happy City won the game because, like Carl says, they are closer now to Arsenal and making sure that Arsenal don't just run away with it. Because for the love of God, I cannot watch Arsenal win the league. Because if they do, just honestly, I'll just hide in the nuclear bunker or something, bro. I just can't deal with it, man.
Honestly, just pull the plug at this point.
World War III is better off happening than Arsenal winning the league at this point, bro.
That's crazy, yeah.
Listen. World War III could potentially stop it from happening, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it potentially could. I mean, listen, Hassan, we're both Man United fans. We both don't like Manchester City. We both don't like Liverpool either. Realistically, the best result for us would have been a draw because it would have been Man City not moving too far away from us and then Liverpool also staying a bit further behind us. But in hindsight, this might even be the better result because they move closer to Arsenal, making it a bit more interesting because we all know, unfortunately, Arsenal as a football club and maybe as players and as a manager, I actually do kind of like what they're about and how they've got to where they are. But their fans are unbearable, man.
Insufferable, man.
I hate both. I hate Crumble and I hate the fans as well. So yeah, all these tactics.
As well.
Yeah, the set pieces and the throw-ins and all that shit. Yeah, that can piss off as well. But yeah, in terms of fans, I don't want them to be too gassed over a Premier League win. Seeing as Arsenal, the last time they won it was, when I was still an infant. So I don't want that to happen at all.
Were you born?
No, I was 04. They won in 04. Yeah. I was born. I'm
just about.
Yeah, just about. So I was an infant. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully they don't win it because most of these Arsenal fans weren't even born when they won the league last time. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know what to say about Liverpool, to be honest. I think the midfield just wasn't great that game. I think City's midfield completely dominated, and that was the reason why they won. And the attacking players were off it. I think TK, as we said, he's one of Liverpool's best players this season, but didn't really contribute much. Even Salah's been completely off it this season. He's fallen off a cliff from last season. I don't know what's happened with him. And Wirtz as well. Wirtz was a bit, he wasn't in the game either. And I thought he'd come on and be a very important player for Liverpool, seeing as how he's played really well in the last couple of games. But this game didn't really do much, so, quite unfortunate for his sake. But, fair play to City, man. That's what I can say. And a very strange game as well.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention about Erling Haaland. And obviously people like to mention the fact that he hadn't scored for, I think, 2 months or a month and a half prior to this, or for a long period of time. I don't remember the last time he actually scored before this game. Listen, pen's a pen, but goal is a goal. Haaland's on 21 goals and he's still 4 clear, even though he hadn't scored for so long. Shows how good Erling Haaland is, and he got the assist as well, so it's not like he's just relying on goals. He is sort of getting involved in play too. So yeah, just wanted to give a little bit of praise to Erling Haaland.
To be fair as well,
for his performance in this game.
Donnarumma made an excellent save.
What a save! I know exactly what.
Even Pep's reaction was hilarious. If you saw the reaction that he had,
Pep.
He's like imitating the save in a way.
At the end there, bro, I swear down.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, what a jump scare he must have had. Like his heart must have been.
Donnarumma was the best shot stopper arguably in the world. So I mean, even Haaland after the game was like, he kind of expected Donnarumma to save that. That's how good he is.
Yeah.
So
he's class, man.
If anyone's gonna save it, it's him, isn't it? So
yeah. The moment he dropped City, I knew it was over for most of the teams in the Premier League. Like they have an excellent goalkeeper. They're not going to concede many goals. So, fair play to City for getting him, man. That's what I can say.
100%. They got him on a free transfer. Was it free transfer? No, very low fee. Sorry, it was like 20 million.
Yeah,
20 million. Yeah. And they bought him and Gahey for 40 million. It's insane. It's insane.
I feel bad for Trafford.
We bought another for 50 odd mil.
But you got to feel bad for Trafford. They bought Trafford and then instantly bought Donnarumma. The guy has had no chance, bro. He needs to leave.
I don't think City care really. I think it's
obviously
the only
City don't care, but for
Trafford.
him, bro, it's not. It's
unfortunately for him. Unfortunately for him, that's just
keeper.
He's making a lot of money. Don't worry about it, guys. That's right.
Yeah. Is he Scott? Scott Carson 2.0, man.
Is Scott Carson still at City?
I don't know.
Is he?
I don't know. I think he's retired.
I think he is. I think he's retired, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he retired.
Did he retire?
I don't know.
I was going to say...
Pretty sure there was like an announcement. He's a free
He might
agent.
have, but again,
Oh,
I
well,
never
there you go.
noticed
He's
him
probably-
on the bench.
Well,
or
he's
not.
not there anymore, so yeah.
No,
Yeah,
he's
so-
retired. He's retired.
Yeah. Anyway, that is it for this weekend in terms of the results. Leave your comments down below and leave your opinions on what you thought about the games. Anything in particular you wanted to discuss? Any particular players? Your team's performance. But before we do the predictions, let's get the leaderboard up. I don't like to discuss it, but yeah, we always have to mention it at some point. But yeah, now let's jump into the predictions. So, as we normally do, it will be me reading out the fixture. It will be Ali first, then Hassan, and then myself giving our predictions. So, first game is Everton versus Bournemouth.
I've gone 2-1 Everton.
I've gone for 1-1.
I've gone 1-0 Everton. Tottenham versus Newcastle.
I've gone 2-1 Newcastle.
I've gone 1-1.
Gone 2-1 Newcastle as well. Chelsea versus Leeds.
I've gone 3-1 Chelsea.
2-1 Chelsea.
3-1 Chelsea. West Ham versus Manchester United.
Unfortunately, I've had to go 2-1 Manchester United.
Yeah, I've gone with 2-1 United as well.
I've gone with 2-1 United as well. And just a little, we can talk about this game a little bit more maybe after the predictions. This is the final third derby. So very interested to see what happens in this game. Forest versus Wolves.
I've gone 1-0.
I've gone for 2-0 Forest.
I've gone with 2-0 Forest too. Aston Villa versus Brighton.
I've gone Villa 2-0.
I've gone for 2-0 Villa.
I've gone 3-1 Villa. Palace versus Burnley.
I've gone 3-1 Palace.
2-1 Palace. I mean, sorry, no, 2-0 Palace.
Yeah, 2-0 Palace as well for me.
Yeah.
Manchester City versus Fulham.
I've gone 2-1 City.
I've gone for 3-1 City.
I've gone 3-1 City. Sunderland versus Liverpool.
I've gone 2-1 Sunderland.
I've gone for 1-0.
I've got 1-0 as well. I'm not copying Hassan, I promise. I promise you I'm not. Brentford versus Arsenal.
I've gone 3-1 Arsenal.
I've gone for 2-1 Arsenal.
Oh my god, you're joking. I've gone 2-1 Arsenal as well.
It's not about tactic, It's just I'm first, if you want to be Ali.
Yeah, true. I might need to. Yeah, I might need to copy you. Anyway, I've not done it on purpose. I promise you.
That's all right.
Anyway, that is the predictions done and dusted. I don't know whether you guys want to mention anything about the West Ham Man United game. Maybe predictions. What you guys?
I think
it's a big day.
Predictions of the score.
I think it's a big day for United Strand. That's what I'm going to say.
It's a big game for both clubs. West Ham could go closer to getting out of relegation. Man United solidify themselves in the top four. It's going to be an interesting, fun game. Obviously, both teams in good form. So, yeah, I think it'll just be a good game.
But the main aspect is Mr. United Strand. Will he finally get that haircut after almost 500 days?
If I'm being honest. Where's his money?
I agree. You know what it is? He'll lose all his clout.
I think he'll have like a Stockholm syndrome effect where he will miss his long hair, you know what I mean? Like you'll cut 100%. It and you'll kind of miss it, you know what I mean?
He's
like a toxic ex or something, you know what I mean?
I'm being honest.
Yeah, I think for his sake.
I said for his sake, you're probably better off losing, just so he has more content. You know what I mean?
It's infinite money glitch. You know what I mean? At that point,
yeah, literally,
just make more views.
He's got nearly 1 million followers on Instagram or was it YouTube or something on one of his socials.
No idea, but he's making a lot of views and money in general. Fair play, man. He's made it all from a haircut, or from a lack of a haircut.
It's crazy. Everyone's discussing him. Everyone that talks about football and Man United is discussing the fact.
I respect. He's a nice guy, man. He deserves it.
100%. Fair play. And there was that. Do you remember that? There was that one part when someone pulled his hair.
Yeah.
In the game.
One of the Man United games. Yeah, that was quite sad to see. But anyway, we can discuss this maybe after the video. Thank you guys for coming in. Really appreciate your time. Please leave your predictions in the comments below for Matchweek 26 as well. And we will see you on the next one. Sorry, please leave a like.
The quiz.
Oh, the player. Sorry, the quiz.
Yes. Let me start with the first fact. He won the UEFA Champions League in 2012, but did not play in the final despite featuring earlier in the competition. The second fact, he began his senior career at Manchester City, but only made 21 league appearances before moving to another Premier League giant. Third fact, he scored 21 Premier League goals in the 2013-14 season, finishing second in the Golden Boot race. Fourth fact, he formed part of the famous SAS strike partnership that nearly won the Premier League in 2014. Fifth and final fact, he came off the bench to score in the 2019 Champions League final, helping his team secure a 2-0 victory. Let us know if you know who that is in the comments down below, and we'll reveal him in the next episode.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for coming in. Now we can finally end the video. Please leave a like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you get notified when we upload videos, and we will see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
See you.